everyone, thanks for tuning in today for another Marathon Society. In this video we're going to be making this creation pattern, the Louie Waist Pack. This is the small size. I used waterproof canvas for both the exterior and the lining. I did make a couple changes here. I did not have a buckle, so I just used the swivel clasp and a triangle ring. I made a couple others with using a D-ring here. So if you don't have a buckle, you can still make your adjustable strap just fine. Here's the back pocket here, front pocket with the double zipper pull. I did add this pocket here that's not part of the pattern, and I used fold over elastic to hold that in. And I did the card slots on this side, which is part of the pattern, but it's like an added on file, so it's not when you print the original one out. But other than that, this piece is different because I wanted the webbing to stay out of the seam allowance because it gets super thick with the binding and everything else. There is a discount code. I will put it in the description below for anybody who would like to purchase this pattern, but again, I will link the pattern and put the discount code below. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will go over the pieces really quick and then we will get started. I've already prepped a few of them. So I am doing the card slots. So I did that already. I've sewn my name badge from Heartwood and Hide on the exterior front. I'm using a slip pocket, so basically what I did was I cut the webbing or the mesh pocket using the pattern piece, and I folded it down where the zipper line went, and then I cut the fold over elastic about an inch, not quite, probably maybe 3/4 of an inch shorter than what this width was, so it kind of stretches and it'll hold everything tight and won't be floppy. So that is that piece. And so these are my two lining inside pieces. This is my exterior front pocket. And then I have my pieces to make my back. I'm using waterproof canvas for both exterior lining, my back lining piece, my back exterior top, my zipper flanges with the markings transferred from the pattern piece. I have my strap wings, is what they're called, yeah. Just in the exterior fabric, you need 2 of them, 1 for each side. I have my base in exterior and lining. I have my zipper gusset in the exterior and lining. The lining is a little bit wider, but I'm just gonna trim it down after I sew it together. It was just the way I was cutting it. I was like, whatever. I have my short zipper for the back. I have my long zipper for the top. And I do not have a buckle. I have my webbing over here. And since I don't have a buckle, I'm going to be using a swivel clasp with a triangle ring. The other ones I used a D-ring, but we're going to do a triangle ring. So first we're going to start with creating the back piece. So I need my top and my short zipper. And we're gonna have the lining side face up with the zipper face up. And she recommends basting it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna, and you can use double stick tape. A lot of people like to use double stick tape. But I'm just gonna sandwich the zipper in between with the right sides together. So we have the lining and the exterior of the back bottom with the sandwiched zipper, or the zippers sandwiched in between, facing the exterior. And like I said, if you're questioning, go ahead and baste it first. And we're gonna sew this with a full seam allowance. So now we are just going to turn them wrong sides together and top stitch. This is, since it's waterproof canvas, I'm not going to iron it at all. And I'm just going to finger press as good as I can. Not start with a full bobbin, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. So here we have the bottom part, and now we're going to sew on the top, sandwiching the other side of the zipper with the back top piece and the back lining piece. So right sides together with the zipper sandwiched in between. And again,
a few moments later.
We're gonna sandwich this in between. Again, she recommends basting it, but I'm just gonna sew at the full seam allowance. And I'm only flipping the top up, leave the bottom down, or the back lining down. I'm only gonna flip that up and then I'm gonna top stitch. Okay, so there we have the back pocket. I just don't want to lose my zipper. And now what we need to do is use the pattern piece, line up this mark where the zipper is, and then cut the pattern piece to size, just like this. So I'm gonna do that and then I will be back.
2 hours later.
So I trimmed that piece down and then I basted all the pieces together here. And now we're going to work on our zipper. So we're going to take our long zipper and our zipper phalanges, and we are going to put, so the straight edge of the phalange lines up with the edge of the zipper, like so. So lining side up. And this one I will actually be basting. You're gonna do that with both sides. I'm gonna take my other lining side up, straight edge, lining side, right side up to the back side of the zipper. So wrong side, straight edge with the straight edge of the zipper. And I'm gonna baste those on. Okay, so I have those basted on both sides. Now we're gonna take the right side and we're gonna line up the straight edge the same way, except for we want it right sides down. So again, the sandwiches, or the zipper is sandwiched in between the right sides. Like the trickiest part, and this is my third one I've made, and I'm not sure if I have even mastered it, so we'll see. So what we're gonna do is, so the zipper is sandwiched together in the middle between the right sides, and we're gonna sew at the full seam allowance. On this side it will be on like lining side up, but on the other side it will be this side up, just because that's the way I do my seam allowance. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew up to the marking on your zipper flange, and then you're gonna turn the zipper with the needle in, and you're gonna line up, like, see how the edge of the zipper is lined up with that piece, that angled piece, and then you're gonna continue to sew straight. So let's try it. And again, it's at the full seam allowance, or as close to it as you can get. And we want to stop where that line is with the needle down and turn. Okay, so you can kind of see that the zipper has like a little fold, not fold, but a curve to it. And I know I didn't do this right the first time, and it still turned out, it was a little off, but it was fine. And you want to top stitch that down. And it is easier if you base these two pieces together, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. Here's one. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. One yet, maybe. We'll see. It's my third Louie, so it'd be my 6th phalange. Oh, yeah. So you just gotta keep practicing. Don't give up. So I'm pulling this out, and I'm gonna top stitch and baste it together. I really like this pattern, so I think I'm gonna have to buy the templates. So here is our zipper with the little phalanges and the turn in it. I don't know. hopefully that's good. So now we are going to attach the zipper gusset with the right sides together and the zipper sandwiched in between. So and again, you can baste it if you prefer. Right sides together. And then I'll finish lining it up once I move the zipper out of the way. Full seam allowance if you are not basting like me. If you're basting, you want to baste at 1/8 of an inch. Doesn't really lay flat when you have the zipper pulls, so okay, so the zipper is sandwiched between. Probably should have basted that one, but that's alright. Doing good with my bobbin still. I'm just gonna pull these apart and I'm gonna top stitch and baste them together. And like I said in the beginning, I am off on my measurements somewhere. And I hope it's not on the zipper. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna top stitch. I have a hinge foot on and it makes like really weird noises, like okay, now I'm just gonna baste it. And I knew my lining was wider. Yeah, that's okay, because it didn't really end up wider. Okay. So here is my zipper gusset. Now we're gonna attach the base, and we are going to sandwich the zipper gusset between the base. So right sides together here. They should be the same width. Again, if you don't feel confident, baste one of them on first. Now the right side of the lining to the right side of the lining. Now what we're going to do is top stitch. I like to only top stitch the exterior. Leave the lining not top stitched. Now we're going to take the other side of the zipper gusset and bring this flap around. So you're making a circle. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take the lining, make sure the right sides are together. And don't twist them at all. And we're going to sew at a full seam allowance. Again, baste if you want first, but I'm going to do it all together. Okay, and then I'm going to top stitch this lining. So we have our gusset, in a big circle. If you turn it inside out, it's a little bit easier. So we have our gusset complete. And I basted the base together so it's all one piece. We're gonna set this aside. And I'm gonna move this and this. We're gonna work on our strap wings. Yeah, okay, we're gonna work on our strap wings. So what we want to do, now this is where it's going to be different from the pattern because I'm not using a buckle and I'm using a triangle ring, but you can use a D-ring also. I did use the D-ring here for this one, but I have a triangle ring I'm going to use. So what you want to do is fold these right sides together. And this smaller piece, where is it? I think. So I've heat sealed it and used Fabric Fusion, I think, on it for gluing it, and it's 4 inches. I do not want it in the seam allowance when I attach it to the back piece because it gets super thick because that is the piece that you bind. So this is a way to keep it out of the seam allowance. And also her pattern actually has you attach a D-ring if you want, but you don't have to. But because I'm just doing it as part of my closure since I don't have the buckle, but we want it right sides together. We're going to have this sticking out here. Basically, I'm lining up this edge. Again, this piece was 4 inches, the webbing. And you want to make sure it's tight up against the crease. And we are going to sew this piece, like right here, not this, just here. And I'm going to trim down my seam allowance. But do not trim that extra webbing. And I'm going to turn this way. Hold on, actually, what? Let's see if I have enough. I'm gonna like cut into where that. Don't cut the stitching, but okay. Hopefully that makes it a little bit better. And again, if you're not using like vinyl or waterproof canvas, go ahead and like iron it. Roll the seam out so it's nice and crisp. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch twice here and I'm going to baste that shut. So I'm going to come up this way to baste it shut. Oh, and I ran out of bobbin. Dang it. That's alright. At least I ran out on the basting stitch.
2 hours later.
Okay, so she actually recommends doing a 3rd stitching, but I like to just keep it at 2 stitches. And now I'm going to attach this here. And this will be out of the seam allowance. If you want to tuck it in so it's not a raw edge, you can definitely do that. You can stitch this or use a rivet. I am going to stitch it for extra security. I think I may just leave it raw to take it kind of to the edge, but not. Okay, so if I were doing it again, like my other pieces were like 5 inches and 6 inches and I was cutting it down, so I did 4 inches here. I would do 4.5 so I can fold it under and not have the raw edge. But the last ones I did, I used double stick tape to hold it into place. And then I'm going to stitch an X there. So here is that piece. Ooh. And now we're gonna attach this one basically the same, but we're not folding it over and attaching the hardware. So we're gonna fold it right sides together. And we want about 1 inch sticking out like so. And clip it so it's nice and secure against the crease. And we're gonna sew. So now we're gonna trim the seam allowance. I'm gonna cut into there so it lays flatter. Again, do not cut the webbing. And we're gonna pull this out. Roll that seam out. So again, we're gonna top stitch on this side 2 times or 3, whatever you prefer, and then baste that shut. Wow, that's some like drunken stitching. Holy cow. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Okay, anyways, here we have it. And this piece, I will add the hardware at the very end. So now what we want to do is we're going to attach these 2 to the back panel, which is your zipper one here. And what? And I need to put the pocket or the zipper in the middle. I'm doing this backwards. Okay. gets super thick, and you can even do zipper tabs on this back zipper if you want it even thinner and you don't want to go over the zipper when you're binding it. Okay, I'm going to roll this up, kind of. And I'm going to baste these on.
A few moments later.
I did it backwards. Just kidding.
2 hours later.
Okay, let's try this again. So we want this. So the right side up, like the pretty side up. Like that. So let's try that one more time. Okay, so I have these basted on now the correct way. So you want to see this on the outside. Now it is time to put all of the pieces together. We are going to start with the gusset. I'm going to open this. So I'm only working with the zipper part. And I'm going to put face down. I need this inside out. There we go. I've marked all my centers. There are markings on the pattern piece that you need to transfer to your main pieces. And we're just gonna clip it all the way around so it's right sides together. So when you're done, this will all be clipped. Okay, so I have it all clipped around against the zipper. And you want to sew at the full seam allowance. If you have to clip your zipper, I would definitely recommend reinforcing it with either a heat seal or fray check or both of them. So I'm going to sew all the way around this piece. I have that stitched on all the way around, and now we are going to sandwich this gusset in between here. So again, I'm just going to clip all the way around, sandwiching the gusset in between the two layers. Okay, so I need to fix this corner. Now you want to sew right on top of this other stitching. You need to be very careful you don't stitch your zipper in here where the curve is, and then you want to leave this spot open to turn it. My arm is gonna work out this week with these. Okay, so I have it all the way sewn except this bottom part where we're gonna turn it, and I am gonna trim the corners down a tiny bit. I do not want to. Okay, zipper. So close. I'm gonna grab the zipper here. I think I did. Shoot. Let's see. Nope. Oh, I think I'm good. I forgot the phalanges were in there, so. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the hair dryer on. I have my hair dryer right here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we have that like this, and we have to close up this hole here. Okay. I said the next time I did it, I was gonna try and hand stitch it shut, and I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to top stitch. I feel like it looks better without it top stitched. But I don't know. Should I glue it? Will the glue stay? That's the question. And then will it be a chunk of wood? This was only in the black stitching. I would totally just stitch the bottom, sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, right? Right. cutest, but better than hand stitching, I guess. Like if the black was lined up, I would definitely just have sewn right on the black part. Just along the bottom. Now I know for next time. Okay, so now what we need to do is first I'm going to baste these two pieces wrong sides together. Wrong sides together, I'm gonna baste these. So this elastic will like grab and pull in, and you want to make sure you're pulling it out so it's all lined up. Like, see how thick this is with all the layers? I mean, it's not too thick. If you were using vinyl, it would be way thicker, but and then if you had your webbing in it, it would be even more thick. So I'm gonna baste this really quick, and then we're gonna attach it. Okay, so I have this basted on, so it's one piece. I'm going to turn this right side out. I need to practice my hand stitching. And now we're gonna attach it like this. Matching the center marks and your gusset marks. Make sure your pocket is facing upward. I mean, waterproof canvas is pretty thick, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers. Plus then you have to add the binding to it. Oh my Lanta. Okay, so we have this clipped all the way around, and we're gonna sew at the full seam allowance or a little bit under. So when you do your binding, you can sew that at the full seam allowance, kind of whatever you prefer. I like to do a little bit shorter first and then go in at the full seam allowance. I made it around one time, and now I gotta go one more time. And I'm using, I believe this is from Weston Warco. I've never used it before. If I can get it undone. said, I have never used this before. I don't know. I prefer it. Ooh, it's kind of frayed. What the heck? Now, do I want to use it? I guess I can like melt it, but I don't remember if this is from Weft and Moco or Fabric Therapy, or I don't know who sells this stuff. But I have it in my stash and I want to use more of what I have. So we'll start there. Some people like to use tape on this bag binding stuff, but last time I tried it, that was not for me. But maybe because it was on fold over elastic. Okay, I'm just realizing my shirt matches with the stripes. The fatness. Okay, well, we're gonna do it this way. Oh my goodness, I caught it all. I caught it all, except for this little top corner here. That's alright. Like literally the very end. I don't like how it's kind of fraying, but ta-da! So you just sew it and then sew your binding on. Now we're gonna turn it out. So depending on what fabric you use, she does recommend putting the card slots on the back, but I think it's fine on the front. Plus I like having the binding holding the pocket, since it's like the zipper pocket or the elastic pocket holes. Ah, that's so cute. I love how it turned out. So now all I need to do is get these out of the way. Whoa. Whoa. sure this does not get twisted. And I'm going to let me see if this is, yes. Okay, so we're gonna put the slider on first. Make sure it's all facing the same way out towards you. And then we're going to go in through this, the further away one, and then back up the closer hole. Just double check. Okay, so we have that here. And then, yep, it is adjustable. So, there you have it with no buckle. Just this here. Now we just stitch this. I'll lengthen it. That's what I need to do, unhook it. Want to rivet, go ahead and rivet too. So. There we have it. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Thanks for hanging out and supporting the other sewists today. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.